So how do you get your photos out of Apple's Photos app the right way? Let me show you. Welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to cover something I get asked all the time. So basically, if you have a bunch of photos in Apple's Photos app and you want to get them out, maybe to send to a person via email, maybe make backup copies of the original, how do you do this? But how do you actually do this the right way? There's a lot of ways you can do this, and they all vary on the sizes, the quality. So I'm going to kind of break it down for you to show you something here. Now, if you're an expert or if you're somebody that knows how to do this already, I guarantee you're probably going to learn one or two things here, because I did when I saw this myself. There's a couple different ways you can export them and in various ways around it that actually make a huge difference on the quality of that image that you're going to move out of there. So sit back and relax. I'm going to show you some kind of hidden secrets in here and stuff that maybe a lot of people just don't know or they just haven't really researched before. So if you have, if you use Apple Photos and you just love using it, but you just want to get your photos out of there the right way, sit back and kind of go through it right here, and I'm going to show you the best way to do it. Now, one thing really quickly, and then I'm going to share my screen. A lot of people, they say, well, where are my photos? I can't find them in Finder. I can't find the actual photos. Well, actually, Apple Photos has its own indexing system, and you really don't want to mess around with that. So you want to either export your photos out, or you can even drag them out. But there's some major differences in what you do there, and I'm going to show that to you. So here's the Photos app right here. And now, obviously, just some basics. I mean, you can click on a photo. You can see how it gets kind of highlighted up here. I can click on another one. It's going to highlight that one. Or you can actually hold down the Command key, and you can select multiple images. Look at that. I can select 3 of them there. You can barely see it, but it kind of outlines them in blue. But I'm just going to stick with one right here. So I want to just do this one. So the easy way, everyone knows how to do it, right? If you want to just get this image out of kind of Apple Photos and have it be its own photo so you can email it to somebody, what you want to do is you basically can click it here and you can drag it right over here to your desktop and just let go. Watch this. So I'm going to drag it over here. Now it's sitting right here. Actually, I'll move it down here. So here it is right here. Now, if I go in here and I go like this and I click Get Info, you're going to see a couple things here. Let me just go on over here. So over here, this photo is about 7.7 megabytes in size, or 7.8 megabytes in size right here. So it moved it out, but what's the quality that it moved it out in? So this is the photo, obviously we just moved it out of the index of Apple Photos, and now you can take this. This is just a JPEG. You can, attach this to an email or something, but it's 7.8 megabytes. So we just don't know exactly what the size is. So there's a better way to actually export them so you know a little bit more about this. And then I'm going to show you actually a couple other key things about retaining the original, all the specs from the original. So stay tuned for that as well. But a better way to do this is instead of just dragging it, and you can do this with multiple ones, but I'm only going to select this image right here. You select it, and then you go up to File right here, and then you go to Export. Now, first thing you want to do is you want to go to this first thing, export one photo. It'll say 2 or 3 photos if you selected them all, but I'm going to just do the export one photo right there and click on it. Now, you're going to get this screen right here, and it looks kind of, very basic. There's a little box right here with a little down arrow, but you want to click that first, right? And that opens up a whole bunch of other kind of, different things in here, quality, color profiles. Now, just to keep this simple, I'm going to export this again, but this time I'm going to make some changes to it. So I'm actually going to keep it a JPEG, right there. The quality I'm going to do medium quality, and then I'm going to do most compatible for the color profile. You can do original, but I usually like to do most compatible. Full size, that means the full dimensions. You can actually resize this to a small one. You can do custom dimensions in here as well. But I'm actually going to keep this as just, I always do full size, which just keeps the original document as the same size, or the picture. All right. Down here, you can actually include like title, keywords, captions, location information. You can unselect that if you want to, if you don't want your location. If you're going to send this to somebody, you don't want to see your house location or something. Long story short, down here it says file name. I'm just going to use the file name that came with the photo, so I'm going to keep that the same. And then this moment name, I'll just put it in a folder based on the date. And I always keep this as, subfolder format. I keep it moment name, but you can also just go and none there, and it will give you the file. But this time it's going to put it into a folder for me, and you'll see it here in a second. So I'm doing medium. This is the important thing. I'm going medium here. So I'm going to export this, all right? And then I'm going to go ahead and just do it to my desktop, and I'm going to show you right in a second here. Click on this. So here it is right over here. Here's the folder, and I'm going to open this up now. All right, and here's the image that it did. If you look over here, though, remember the other one was 7.8 megabytes? This is only 5.3. So what does that mean? Well, that means when you drag it, you get a little bit higher quality. For some reason, when I just did it as medium, you can see what the size of the file is. So medium, it's a little bit smaller than just dragging it out. That's kind of important to note. Now what we're going to do is click on it again. We're going to go up to File, and then we're going to go to Export again and export the single photo right there. And this time I'm going to do high. See that? Instead of medium high, I'm going to export it. Now I'm going to export it into the exact same folder. I'm just going to click it and I'm going to export it. So it's going to go back into this folder over here. So if I click on this now, I'm going to see here now that the one I just did is now 9.2 megabytes. See it there? And that was high quality. So you got medium is at 5.3, 9.2 is the high. But over here, the one I actually just dragged out, let's just take a look at that. Again, that was 7.8 right there, 7.8. So as you can see, the high quality is going to give you a little bit more data in there. So if you're just dragging photos out, this is the key you want to get out of this, is they're going to actually not, they're going to be between probably medium and high quality, but they're not going to definitely be high, and they're definitely not going to be the maximum or the highest quality. And I'll show you that in a second. So to show you that, let's just go ahead and click on this image again. We're going to go up to File, and then we're going to go to Export again, and then Export one photo. And this time we're going to go up to Maximum. See that? So we're going to go to Maximum. And then we're going to keep everything else the same. And obviously, if you change size and stuff, that's going to make differences, but we're going to keep everything the same. We're going to export it. Same place again. So now we're going to have 3 files over here. But look at this. This is the crazy thing. So this is the one I just did. So the actual maximum is 21.5 megabytes. And actually, the smallest one's 5.3. This one's 9.2. And the original one I just dragged out of here was 7.8. So you can see the major difference in sizes here. So if you want to get the best quality of the image, you have to send to somebody or for backups and stuff, you probably want to go in and help, have Apple use its algorithm in here when you export something. And you want to go into, again, File, Export one photo. And you probably want to choose right here, maximum. And you're going to get, the biggest file size for sure, but it's going to give you the best quality of the image. If you're just dragging them out, you're going to see that you're going to get really an image quality between the medium and the high, but not even high, which a lot of people want probably the best, format for that. Obviously, if you're just sending it to somebody in an email and it doesn't really matter and stuff like that, then just do it, even low quality. You're going to save on space and stuff. But if you want the maximum quality there, you definitely want to go with what I'm showing you there is the maximum. And you can see the difference between 7.8 megabytes all the way up to 20-something megabytes. And there's going to be some differences in the data in there that's going to make that image a little bit better. It's going to be less compressed when you do it this way versus just dragging it out. Now, this next thing I'm going to show you is really important also, and a lot of people don't know this exists, all right? So here's a bunch of images in Apple Photos. I'm going to go ahead and click this one this time. I'm going to go open this up, and you're going to see a tiger in here. It's kind of dark and stuff. I'm going to click on Edit, and a lot of people do this. They go ahead and they edit their photos, right? I'm just going to use some curves here, and I'm going to make this thing like crazy bright, just so it's completely different, all right? So it looks completely different. I'm going to go ahead and click Done. Now you're going to go back to my sting here, and you can see basically in my list, here's the image here. It looks kind of crazy. But let's just assume you just, you did a whole bunch of editing to your photos, color correction, stuff like that, using the photo app. It's going to save it right in here. Now, though, obviously, now watch what happens. If I take this and I just drag it over here, you're going to see, obviously, it's going to take a couple seconds. It's going to drag over here. Now, if I go ahead and just open this up with Finder, the image is exactly the way it was when I edited it, obviously. It's going to be the exact same images right there. There it is. So that's how you do that. But that's not what I want. I want the original. Let's say I made a mistake, or I want to go back to the original format of that photo with the highest quality because I want to get the best quality and I can re-edit it later, maybe in a different program. So how do I do that? Well, I click the photo again here, and this time I go up to File, and then I'm going to go to Export again, but this time I'm going to go to the second listing here. We were going here before, but now we're going to go down here. Export Unmodified Original for one photo. One photo because I'm only selecting one. I'm going to click on that. Now this one doesn't give you as many options, and there's like a setting in here that says Export IPTC as XMP. Don't worry about that. That's more of an expert thing. It does include some files and some attachment files that go with it to give the image more information about it, but I don't usually select that. Then it just asks you file name, and then it just asks you the subfolder, just like before. And I'm just going to leave that the same there. So I'm going to click Export here. Now watch what happens. It's going to go ahead, well, let me actually put it on the desktop here, and I'm going to export this now. So here it is here now. What I did, though, is look at this. If I open this up, and I'm going to go ahead and go like this, and I'm going to click on it, you can see that this is the original image. So I made all those modifications to it. I even, there's the one I made the modifications to. But the one that actually, I wanted to save actually was the very good original, which is here. So in order to get that original back, again, which it did right here, is you have to actually select the photo. You have to go up to File, and then you have to go to Export, and then you export Unmodified Original for one photo. So any changes that you made to that photo, whether you made a mistake or you just want to go back to the original file just so you can re-edit it later or send somebody something, or you just want a backup of all just the originals in the original shape, the size that it was taken. Obviously, you see it doesn't give you a lot of options there because it's going to give you the original size, the original pixels, the original colors, everything original that you actually moved it into the Photos app. Now, if you did some stuff originally to that, it may not go revert all the way back to the original, but when you moved into the Photos app, anything you did inside of there, any changes you made are going to be reverted right back to the original by using that format. All right, and then finally people say, well, how do I actually get a photo out of the Photos app? I don't want it in there any longer. And this is pretty easy, obviously, but I'll show you anyway. So here it is. So if I move the photo out, like over here, and I see the photos over here, so I have 2 copies of it. All you have to do really is just select the photo again, click the delete on your keyboard like this. It's going to say delete from all your devices. You're going to click delete right there, and you're going to see that it removed that photo completely. Now, obviously, since I made a copy over here, I'll still have the photo over here, but it's going to be removed from like iCloud and all that stuff as far as, you know, your photos, if you're backing them up there, all your different devices, except the photos over here. But you'll actually have the actual original photo over here because you copied it out of it, so you won't lose it completely, but it'll just be removed from the photos library and the indexing system inside of there. So anyways, I just hope this helps. So what did we learn from this anyway? So I know people know how to drag photos out. They probably knew how to export and stuff, but it's that little menu bar. So if you go up here again to File, and then you go to Export Photos, depending on what you're selecting, this little bar right here is super useful. See that little down arrow? It's going to give you a whole bunch of different options, but you really want to pay attention to the quality that you're using here. And also, you know, color profile is going to make a little bit of a difference. And then the full size, you usually want to export the full size of it. You can obviously change to different, you know, if you change to different kinds of photos, it's going to make some big differences as well. I like to keep the kind of photo the same that I actually, you know, the original was, because that's going to be important to me. But you can change the, you know, the kind as well if you want to, if you're going to be doing some other project where you need a different format for the photo. So all that's kind of built in here. But the difference that I wanted to really get, you know, people to understand is if you just drag photos out like that, you're not getting the highest quality. It's not the original quality either. It's going to be a down version of it between medium and high quality. It's not even going to be high. It's not even going to be, you know, the maximum quality. And that's really important to understand. And then getting back to the originals is also important. So anyways, that's all I have, you know, that's really all I have for today. Kind of just go through these really quickly, and it's off the cuff kind of things I think about, but I hope it helps people that are using this app, you know, just to kind of say, hey, I understand a little bit more about it now, and I know how to get things out, and I know how the indexing is different. I can't find them in Finder and stuff like that. So this is what you want to do, and every little bit helps, right? I mean, I learn every day, and I hope this helps people. So we'll talk to everybody in the next one. I make videos every 2 or 3 days, not usually like this. I usually do reviews of stuff and Apple News on the weekends. Check that out. We'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.